could be, and I'm not happy with who it is. And I think that every man should be like that, so he gets up off his ass and does something.
I learned my mindset in battle. My mindset is 87 professional fights. My mindset was learned in the reality of the real world. Yeah.
Your winner, fighting out of the blue corner from the USA, Andrew the King Cobra Tate!
I don't know if the fire inside of me is any bigger than it is inside of every other man. And I think that every man at home watching this, if they don't have the things they want in life, should feel a degree of resentment towards themselves or disappointment, understanding that they have the same desire and drive that I have. Mm-hmm. They just allowed themselves to be psyoped out of it.
I don't believe in the societal paradigms in which they have tried to construct this idea of happiness. I don't believe or subscribe to the way that happy and sad is currently understood by the masses of the population. My mindset is 87 professional fights. My mindset was learned in the reality of the real world. Yeah. I don't need to read a self-help book. I don't need to read about motivation or confidence. I think if you are anything less than absolutely distraught, you are happy. You're a version of happy. It's like saying gray is a version of black, right? No matter how light the gray is, you can still call it a version of black. And unless you've gone through an event, which hopefully doesn't happen too often, like the passing of a family member or something that's truly destructive and detrimental to your mindset. Besides these events, which hopefully only happen a few times in your life, you should be happy. If you're not crying or paralyzed in silence due to the absolute magnitude of a detrimental circumstance or the absolute magnitude of a negative event, then you are a version of happy. So I am always happy is the short answer. I don't believe in not being happy. I don't believe in not saying to myself I'm happy. I'm always a version of happy. And this idea of chasing happiness and always being concerned and preoccupied with how happy you are is actually the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, I think, in the world today. Especially men who wake up and go, oh, I don't really feel happy, so I need to get happier. And that's how they end up down a hedonistic path of drugs or alcohol or gambling, chasing pleasure. I don't care how I feel. Yeah. I don't care if I feel happy or sad. It doesn't really affect what I do each day. I do the exact same things. I act the exact same way. I don't care. Yeah. I don't put weight to the significance of the emotion. So I always consider myself a happy person, but if I woke up and I was slightly less happy one day than another, it wouldn't affect anything I do and I wouldn't put any relevance to it. I'm human and that's life. And so, am I any happier now that I have hundreds of millions of dollars than before I was broke? Yeah. Not really, but I was never unhappy. I'm the same state that I was then that I am now. I have work to do and I will do it. It's as simple as that. Also, there's no light without dark. And there's no joy without pain. You can't have a rainbow without a little rain. Exactly. And no matter how hard you chase pleasure and happiness, there's going to be dips and troughs in between. There's going to be come downs and downtrends. And you're going to have the juxtaposition between that time you were laughing your head off and acting giddish like a child and the time that you feel depressed as such. And I think it's much better to just adopt a very disciplined, stoic mindset. I'm always the same base level of happy regardless. If I lost all of my money today, I would be the same happy. Mm-hmm. If my net worth quadrupled, I'd be the same happiness. Yeah. As long as I'm alive, which is a struggle, unfortunately, in the current climate, but as long as I'm alive and the people I care about and love are alive, and as long as God gives me the honor of doing my duties and providing for the people I care about, as long as I get to wake up and know that there's a whole bunch of people in the world who need me and I get to work hard to please them and do good for society and good for the world, then I'm a vessel of God and I'm happy enough to survive. That's all I look at it as. I don't ever consider how do I feel. That doesn't cross my mind. I have things to do. I have things to do.
You're too busy to think about that.
I'm too busy. I have things to do every single day. I have very important things to do, and how I feel really is not going to affect how I complete those tasks.
Right.
And when I speak to men, they say I'm unhappy or I need to be happier. I think that's absolutely the wrong frame of life. You're a man, you have duty, you have honor, you have things you should be doing regardless of how you feel. And the people who are perma-obsessed with happiness or sadness. I just think it's the wrong paradigm to view the lens of life. I think you should get up and do what needs to be done. I learned my mindset in battle. My mindset is 87 professional fights. My mindset was learned in the reality of the real world. Yeah. I don't need to read a self-help book. I don't need to read about motivation or confidence. I've been in the cage smashing people's faces in. I don't need to learn any of that stuff. So I learned in reality, and reality is always going to be a better teacher than a book, because you're not learning when you read books. You're regurgitating. You may be reading, but I don't believe you're truly learning. My coach used to say, if it doesn't hurt, you didn't learn. And I think he's completely right. And it's the same with entire life. You see people make the same mistake over and over again until it eventually goes really wrong. Yeah. And it's only then they'll change.
Then they change.
So absolutely. Yeah. So I learned how to become self-disciplined and become self-motivated and work hard. And I learned how to face adversity and find strength within myself I didn't know I had, because people were trying to kill me inside of a cage. I think as a young man, if you want to get your life better, the most important thing you have are your waking hours. You need to be out competing all the other people on the planet who are hyper competitive. And if you think you have 8 hours to sit there and just read a book, you are wasting your time. You are too slow, and you are going to lose against people like me, because we're just too quick. Too fast. Our networks are too various and large, and we make decisions too quickly, and we absorb information too quickly, and you're just behind it.
I understood from a young age I had to stick up for myself and defend my ideas, and my ideas were always different, and I was always an outcast, I guess, to a degree, and that certainly played a part later on in my life, because it's been very easy for me to look at the programming the Matrix is trying to push down my throat and just say no. Dad had his own philosophies. We definitely never read any philosophical books. We didn't study any old philosophers, but he'd say things now, which you can even still see his Twitter. If you want to see a philosopher, you can go through his Twitter now and see all of the things he was saying when he was still alive. Yeah. But I think life is actually pretty simple. There's action and reaction. There's cause and effect. There's brave people and there's cowards. A lot of people are self-interested. And if you understand the basis of these motivations, it's not difficult to work out why the world functions the way it does. And cause and effect and action and reaction are very real. And I think one of the largest plagues we have in the world today is a lack of action amongst people. And deciding not to act is an action in and of itself, right? And that's the only philosophy you need for life. If you want something to move, you have to move it. If you sit and wait for somebody else to move it, you're a coward. And you're just hoping it's going to happen. And that's why I don't understand when a lot of people who see where the world is going and see the future that's going to be laid out for their children kind of just hope and pray. A lot of people, I think all men are born with a masculine desire to conquer Earth. And I think you're only going to be happy if you're conquering. But if you're living a semi-comfortable life and your mother is nice to you and you're not under any pressure and the Matrix is telling you it's fine to just be average, well, then you're going to be sitting there being average. I was never comforted. I was never given an easy life. I never had anyone in my life who was saying, don't worry, Andrew, it's okay to just be this guy. I was told the opposite all the time. I don't know if the fire inside of me is any bigger than it is inside of every other man. And I think that every man at home watching this, if they don't have the things they want in life, should feel a degree of resentment towards themselves or disappointment, understanding that they have the same desire and drive that I have. They just allowed themselves to be psyoped out of it. They've allowed the Matrix or whoever to convince them it's okay to not be the man they could be. And I never allowed anybody to do that to me. I know that I'm right because the way I think allows me to be correct in every scenario I've ever been in. I know when someone's gonna hurt me. I know when my time's almost up. I know how to make a bunch of money. I know all of it. I've never been wrong about anything. Every time I've ever been truly sad, again, it was beneficial for me to feel that way. And yes, there was a point when that was semi-conscious, and now it's not conscious at all. If I start to feel angry, it's not conscious. I am angry completely and utterly, and I trust my body and my spirit that I'm supposed to be angry, and I'm supposed to act within that frame. And that's what true enlightenment is, because thinking outside of it and being conscious of it is good, but it takes time. And often, in the most extreme scenarios of life, the one thing you will not have is very much time. There has to be instant and complete decisions, and there has to be final scenarios, what's the word I'm looking for? Consequences. The bad things that are happening to you are what you need to become the man that you want to be. I can't talk about women because I'm not one. I actually think trauma is terrible for women because it masculinizes them. they become cold. And that's not attractive, right? We want feminine, pure, protected women. I don't want a woman to ever go through anything bad in her life. I think a man should go through it for her and protect her, because I think that's how she's her best self as a woman. But I think to be your best self as a man is the absolute opposite. And when someone emails me and says, this has happened to me, I'm like, good. No, what do you mean good? It's terrible. How else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? How else are you're going to do all that with a nice, cushy life? If any man's honest with himself, think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, when the woman's still sucking dick, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain. So when I get a message from whoever and he goes, my wife left me, I'm devastated. I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to. And you've done so many nice things. And then because of one thing you did, her innate and absolutely insane level of ungratefulness has turned her bitter, and she now talks to you like she hates you over one thing you've done after thousands of efforts showing how dedicated you are to her. And even now that you're prepared to die for her, she doesn't give a shit about you. I understand that pain. But my answer is, good. It's still good. Now take all of that pain, and instead of emailing me, do this. And then you're going to become the kind of person that women don't leave. And you win.
I'm ready to kill. I don't do this for fun. This is not sport to me. I don't enjoy it. I hate training. I hate fighting. This is war. I was born for this. I have no choice. I'm in here to kill. That's it. Pain. That's all I know.
So for someone to come along and try and convince me that my mental model and my way of viewing the world is inaccurate, it's going to be extremely difficult, because I'm going to sit and say, well, my mental model produces X to this accuracy, and you're a dumbass. So what can you predict, my friend? And that's the reality of the world. So my stories are being told, the lessons of them at least, when I'm speaking. Yes, I am misunderstood. I'm misunderstood because the things I say are a large web of nuanced, and they're interlinked. And if you take one individual part from the web, then completely I understand how some things can be massively misunderstood. I also understand that most people have no interest in the truth and no interest in digging deeper and finding out the truth about a person or a scenario. If you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are, right? You can decide if you want to be a funny comedian or a musician or a kickboxing world champion or fight the Matrix. You can decide whatever you want to be. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. For 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan just for my stupid ass to be born. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing because I want to play video games. These people are fucking losers. You should walk through Earth with force inside of you. As I walked into this hotel reception, everybody looked. Not because they know who I am, but because as I move, even if it's behind their head, people feel something and they go, it's an energy that comes from brutal competence. It's almost like an evolutionary thing where a rabbit can just smell a fox. It just knows. That's what happens when a predator walks in a room, even amongst humans. You pay attention next time you're in a restaurant. If a man who's truly dangerous walks in, nearly every other man kind of looks up at the same time. You feel it. You need to or you don't survive. We've evolved with that to live. That's who I am. I couldn't imagine not being that man. I've done that because I've been trying to prove myself to my lineage my entire life. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I wake up and think, fuck, more. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion. Fighting the Matrix out here by myself, more. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. all I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything. But kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a fucking loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly, completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it to anyone. I can be checked at any time. If someone were to come up to me in that lobby and argue with my ideas, I would have proved that my ideas are sound. If they would have attacked me, I would have destroyed them completely and absolutely. That's who I am. So yes, I have a lot to prove, my friend. And until the day I die, it will remain. And this is the true height of the slave mind. If you can convince somebody to have a strong emotional reaction about a subject they don't even understand, imagine the level of slave these people are. Imagine if every time you saw the color red, you just lost your mind. You're a slave. You're controlled. Every single time I've been furiously angry or even in a murderous rage, it's been a very appropriate time to be so. And I don't mean appropriate because of the reasoning. I'm not saying I had a good reason to be angry. I'm saying that it was the best decision at the time. Every time I've ever been truly sad, again, it was beneficial for me to feel that way. There are times in life when murderous rage is the best possible option on the table. There are times in life where if you're genuinely threatened, the best possible emotion you can feel is murderous rage, right? There's times when it's appropriate. There's times when it's good to be sad, and there's times when it's good to be empathetic, and there's times when it's good to be ruthlessly psychopathically cold. So I think enlightenment is making sure that your brain and soul and spirit are trained in a way that the emotions you feel at any given time are the best possible card in the deck. Of all the options you have in the playbook, depending on the scenario, your own spirit gives you the exact perfect way to feel to handle that scenario in the most effective and compendious way possible.
I knew I needed to become successful and become a kickboxer and get money. And I knew all of these things from a very young age. And I remember being 17, 18, seeing a Ferrari on the street and being like, fuck, I need to get one of them. I just kind of knew inside. Mm-hmm. And I knew it, and it's worked out for me. That's all great. But now I use hypergamia against women completely because I know that they'd rather share an alpha than have 100% of a beta.
Right.
I know that even though they may sleep with me and then cry their eyes out the next day because I'm with some other girl, but I know they're not going to leave. If you always have a higher purpose, then a woman can never truly control you, and she can never truly destroy you, and your frame can't be broken. If I had to go train for a fight and the girl was complaining, well, then she can fuck off and leave because I ain't getting my ass kicked for nobody, not you or no one else. I have to go fight in front of 10,000 people, so I don't care if it's your birthday. I'm going to the fucking gym.
I don't care. Put someone in front of me. Put someone in front of me. That's all I have to say.
Do I enjoy training? No. Do I enjoy cutting weight? No. Am I nervous? Yes. Do I think to myself, what am I doing? Yes. Completely. Unfortunately, it's one of those things you're either born with or you're not. And the only way I can explain it to try and make it make any sense is that if I'm not doing something which is either extremely difficult or extremely stressful, I'm in a perpetual state of crippling boredom. I can't explain it. I see other people live their lives and they're like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend because I want to watch this movie. I think, who cares about a movie? You're looking forward to the weekend for a movie? Looking forward to the weekend to get drunk? Like, these things to me are so mundane. They mean nothing. And if I don't fight, if I'm not in a situation where I'm stressed or worried or concerned, I'm just perpetually bored. And boredom's crippling. If you're an intelligent person and you've got a good brain on your shoulders, you can't just sit there bored, you know? So most smart people take the academic route to avoid boredom. They learn, but that's never really interested me either. Although I've always been an intelligent guy and I've always done well academically, it never really interested me. And then I see people climb Mount Everest or jump off buildings or do base jumping, or the guy who jumped from space. People think, what's he doing? He's crazy. I understand. Because some people can't live normal lives. Some people cannot just function 9-to-5 office job, get drunk at the weekends. That is not for some individuals, and it's not for me. So I have to find something which keeps me physically tired enough to stop me going AWOL, and mentally tired enough. And I've chosen fighting because without this, when I'm not in training, I wake up every day and think, okay, what am I gonna do today? It's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'm bored, everyone's at work, I'm bored, and I'll end up doing something crazy. I'll either end up drunk or on the Eurostar, or, you know, it's just a random lifestyle because I'm constantly looking for never-ending entertainment, and it doesn't exist. I think the only thing that could stop me fighting is if I had enough money to constantly entertain myself. Unless I'm a billionaire, I need something that keeps me focused and keeps me occupied in life. With fighting, I have to train twice a day, and I have to train hard, and the stress it brings in every aspect can replace fun, and my mind is occupied. It occupies me. It's the only way I can try and explain it. It occupies me, and I could never stop doing this even if I lost 100 fights, because I'm not built to live a normal existence. I can't do it. I couldn't just have a kid with some girl and sit at home and work a little bit and relax. I've never relaxed my entire life. I don't know what relaxing is. It's just not me.
So I always had a higher purpose, and that allowed me naturally to build a frame where I learned that it's better to never submit, and that relationships are happier if I never submitted. So I always kind of had that. So I kind of learned everything I knew by just being preoccupied with something completely separate. And it was something that took a lot of my time and 100% of my concentration. So that's kind of where I learned my frame. And now even when I stopped fighting, my frame's the same. I believe the most miserable existence on earth is living a life pretending to be something you're not. I really believe it. And that's why I don't for a second hide what I do or apologize to anybody. If you look at what I do and it offends you, the hate is inside of you. The hate ain't inside of me. You need to go look in the mirror and deal with your own problem. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And I'm the same with women. If you get with me and then you start complaining about how I am, you better fucking leave, because I'm like women try and say, why do you still live with your brother? Why don't you want to live with me? Da-da-da. And I try and explain to them that, one, I don't think I can be my most competitive without him. Two, I'm most emotionally stable with him. I like the idea. I'm most competitive with him. I'm my best version of me. If it doesn't matter if I have to go into a fight, doesn't matter if I have to run a business, I'm better with Tristan by my side than I would be by myself. And three, my ideal family life, even my ideal family, the way I live my life now, is very much more like a clan than a nuclear family. I like me, my girl, my kids, Tristan, his girl, his kids, my cousin, his girl, his kids. I like this idea of lots of people. I like that. I like that feeling. So girls say to me, well, you don't want a family. Like, no, I want a family bigger than you want. I just don't want to just sit with you. I want a lot of people around me, and I think it's better for that. And I think it's better for the children especially also. I think they enjoy it more. But yeah, I've got the best brother on the planet. I truly do. And this is why I'm saying some of our best days of our lives are in jail. If I feel extremely happy and excited, I'm going to use that as motivation or energy to do amazing things and do good and work hard. If I feel absolutely depressed and distraught, I'm going to use that as endless energy and motivation to do amazing things and work hard. It doesn't matter what you give me. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted and transferred. It doesn't matter what fuel you give me. If you give me diesel, petrol, kerosene, vodka, doesn't matter what you put inside of my engine.
Hard work is going to come out.
Absolutely.
Success.
That's all I know how to do. Yeah. That's all I know how to do. It doesn't matter what fuel you put in my engine. My engine only knows how to do one thing, and that is succeed. That's all I know how to do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you feed me with. I'm going to be massively successful regardless.
Yeah.
Doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
I was now the oldest man alive in the Tate family. I had to look after my mother and my siblings and take care of people. I had to make a choice. Do I fly back to America and spend money and time and go to this funeral and, waste a few weeks? Or do I sit here and just focus on this enterprise and make sure that it cannot fail? And we talked earlier about speed. Most people go, it's only 2 weeks. It's only a week. It's only a week. People who say it's only a week are the people who are broke.
They don't value time.
That's the reason you're all poor, because you say it's only a week. So, it's tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it later. It's only an hour. It's only a day. It's only a minute. You are competing against people like me. We do not waste a second. I just personally could never sleep at night knowing, I got 100 million in property. I'm good. Because I'd be like, I don't have anything. I have to be quiet and I have to be careful. And if they don't like me, they'll get me. That to me doesn't feel like ownership. Ownership is they can't take that off of me. That's true ownership. So you don't own property. It's a scam. It's a lie. Let me give you a quick story. I bought an Aston Martin DBS 3 months ago. I pulled up outside the hotel. I bought it in London. I pulled up at the hotel. I parked in the double yellow. I left it there. Traffic warden was right there. So I'm going to give you a ticket. And I said, bro, have you ever seen James Bond look for parking? Give me a fucking ticket. Don't care. Put a ticket on it. Went in the hotel.
Stayed in the hotel come on, I'm busy. Stayed in the hotel for 4 days. Ticket. It came out to a window. It was on my Instagram before they deleted it. A window of tickets. Now, how do they enforce those tickets? Well, we said they'll take your home off you, right? I don't own anything. I don't even own that car. And the car's not in the country anymore. It's sitting in my house in Bulgaria. So now what the fuck are you gonna do? So I got thousands of pounds of parking tickets, and guess what happened? Nothing. Zero. Because I don't play by the stupid rules the Matrix tells me to play by. If I was Joe Schmo and I ignored them, I would lose my home. But me, I could turn up, tell them to get fucked, and do whatever I want. And what you'll actually learn is that much like parking tickets, pretty much all laws on Earth and all rules on Earth have there's an economic level to which you must adhere, and there's an economic level to which you don't have to adhere. Anything that's financial in and of itself is basically saying it's okay for rich people to do anyway. Let's say I agreed to pay the fine. Cool. I didn't have to look for parking. I paid $3,000. That's worth 5 minutes of my time. So it's basically saying it's okay for a price. So it's okay for rich people. It's not okay for poor people. Whenever there's a fine as a punishment, they're basically saying no poors, no brokies, or rich people can do it. Look at banks. They make billions of dollars breaking the rules and pay $1 million fine. It's okay for the rich. Not allowed to do it for poor. If you do that, if you pull off some fraud as a brokey, guess what happens? Jail time. Do the bankers go to jail? Fucking never. This is the whole way the whole entire world works. So, extrapolating that out, yes, at a certain economic level, there are things you can do and Aikido you can pull that make property fantastic. But as a brokey, it's bullshit. That's the point.
You have to perform. This is what being a man is about. The baseline of masculinity is doing things you don't feel like doing. The thing that makes a good man a man is that he does what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to work and he works anyway. He doesn't want to go to war and he fights anyway. He doesn't want to get up, he gets up anyway. That's the whole point of it. We didn't want to die in the Titanic. Guess what happened? We died in the Titanic. People often ask me, especially when I put up a picture on Instagram, how I'm in such good shape. Say, how are you in such good shape when all you do is travel the world and drink alcohol and smoke cigars?
The idea
you barely
of
go
it.
to the gym. And I say that I train in my sleep, and they call me crazy. Because I can lucidly dream, because I can control my dreams, which is another podcast in and of itself. I train in my dreams. I convince my mind that I've trained. I convince my mind that I need to be ready for war, and my body reacts accordingly. It is the ideas that are real. What do they say in the Matrix? The body cannot exist without the mind. It's the ideas that are real. An idea in and of itself is real enough. If you remember a dream the same way you remember a real event, they are basically the same. My body proves that because I do most of my training as I sleep. So lucid dreaming is basically, I don't know if anyone's here has had a dream that you realize is a dream and then you can control it. Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
So you're in a dream and then you go, for me personally, I'll be in a dream and something will happen and I go, that doesn't make sense. Oh, wait, I'm dreaming. And then I can fly and shit. Now, usually I can only do it for like a minute or two in dream time. You know, time is a bit different in dreams until the dream ends. And I usually wake up where the dream ends. So it's kind of annoying because sometimes I'll be in a dream and I'll realize it's a dream and I'll start doing some shit. And then I'll also consciously know that I'm running out of time before the dream ends. It's weird. So that's how I dream. So the way I do that, and when I say that I use my dreams to calculate things, is because if you're ever heartbroken or upset or you're really worried or stressed, you might dream about the problem. So I do that consciously. If I have a problem in my life or something I have to worry about or be concerned about, I'll try and make sure I dream about it. And then in the dream, I know I'm in a dream. And it's basically dedicating time of my life, dedicating the time I was sleeping to solving a problem or dealing with a problem. How many amazing songs have been written in a dream? Or how many scientific, discoveries were from dreams? Look up discoveries from dreams. The number of scientists who woke up and go, bang, it came to me in my sleep, it came to me in my dream, because you're obsessed with a problem and your mind works it out at rest. So the key to lucid dreaming is this. You have to try and remember your last thought before you fall asleep. And I know that sounds easy, but think about last night when you went to sleep. Your eyes were closed. You were thinking of this, then you were thinking of this, then you were thinking of this, and then you were half awake because you kind of heard a noise and you felt the covers on you, but you weren't asleep, but you weren't awake. But what were you thinking of? Kind of nothing. You have to remember the exact last thought you had before you went to sleep. And it's harder to do than you think, because when you start doing that, you start turning your brain on to focus and then you can't sleep. So you have to do it like Zen. You have to just Zen go, I'm going to sleep, but I'm going to keep track. Right now I'm thinking of this dumb shit. Okay, now I'm thinking of that dumb shit. And sequentially in order, remember all the things you're thinking about until you remember the last thing you thought about before you went to sleep. When I started learning how to do that, there on out, about 70% of the times I would dream, it would be lucid. And I genuinely, even to this day, I'll be in a dream doing whatever. And I'll lift up a cat and go, that has no weight. This is a dream. Okay, this is a dream. So I'll just float through this wall quickly. Where's Tristan? Or me go on the computer, and I'll just control it for like 2 minutes. It's weird, but it happens by remembering what you're thinking about before you fall asleep. And if you actually genuinely think about that task and think about now when you go to sleep, you'll be trying to do it and you'll realize I'm thinking a bunch of bullshit, or I'm thinking of a memory, or I'm half remembering something that your mind kind of falls apart a little bit as you fall asleep. If you can keep track of it, you can control your dreams. And for me, if I ever have a genuine real issue, I can literally say I'll deal with it. I'll think about that later when I'm sleeping. I know it sounds stupid, but it's true. I would accredit it to my success when I was kickboxing. I believe that if my brain synapse is firing, it must have for X action, it must have a positive reflection on that action. If my X synapse, if the synapse in my brain is firing to slip a jab in a particular way, and my brain is firing, even if my body isn't moving, but my brain is firing to slip that jab, I believe that on a long enough time scale of my brain imagining me doing something repeatedly over and over and over again, I'm going to be better at doing that action, even if my body doesn't reflect. So when I say I train in my dreams, that's exactly what I mean. I would train, I imagine slipping punches in my dreams and how I would do it. And although my body wasn't doing the thing because I was asleep, but my synapses were firing the same. And I believe that had a positive impact and a positive effect. That can't be proved, but I believe it. And if I believe it, that also gives it power.
There's so much work for you to do as a man. I don't know how people I barely sleep and I never not work and I never lay in. I'm never lazy. And I don't understand how people don't work all of the time. And when I say that, people say, but work on what? I don't know what to work on. Bro, you need 10 passports. You need 25 bank accounts. You need shell companies. You need a trust fund. You need to make some money. You then need to move that money away. You need multiple places to live. You need a place for your children to live. They need a trust fund. You have stuff to do.
Yep.
And the people are just sitting around doing nothing. It's mind boggling to me. And there are some people who you just can't help. There is a huge percentage of the populace which they're beyond saving because they're the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. Being a quitter is the worst thing you can possibly be. God himself can't make a quitter important because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it was difficult to reach. If everybody could reach it, there'd be no value. Value is linked to scarcity. The whole point gold is valuable is because it's not everywhere. If it was everywhere, it wouldn't have any value. The reason the place you're trying to reach is valuable is because people can't get there. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst. You could give a quitter a map, a treasure map, and a hot air balloon and say, it's going to take you right to the treasure. It's going to be a 7-day journey. Here's a sandwich.
Yeah.
And halfway through, they'll be like, oh, I'm cold.
Yeah. You just said that, 7 days. Nah.
Yeah. And they'll quit.
Yeah.
Quitters will never make it. And there's a huge subsect of the populace who are basically simply quitters. I've never in my life seen anyone who's determined to get something not get it. I've never seen somebody who is determined in their heart to get something not get it. The universe and God is so giving and providing. People think it's difficult out here. I disagree. I've never seen someone wake up and say, nah, this is all I care about. This is all I want. Not get it. Everyone who thought that way in fighting was a world champion. Everyone who thought that way about money was rich. I've never seen anyone fail. Bro, I've seen people with no credit score and no job determined to get an R8 manage to get one on finance somehow. I've seen it. If it's all you want, you're going to get it.
You're going to find a way to get it.
You're going to find a way.
Yeah.
People go, oh, I want this. If you wanted it, you'd have it.
Literally, I spoke to a man who had done a podcast recently, and he was saying if someone had a gun to your children's head and said to you, the only way I'm going to move this gun is by you making $1 million, you are going to make $1 million.
100%.
Yeah.
You're going to be motivated for the first time in your life. People often say, if you try your best, it's okay to fail. But what they don't understand, the true secret to the universe is that if you try your best, you never fail.
Yeah.
I can't stop myself working as a person who doesn't need money. And then there's people with no money who don't work. It blows my mind, which is why the winners are winners and the losers are losers. Losers do a little bit of work and rest. Winners work as hard as possible and worry they're not working hard enough. It's just a separation of personality types. And it's almost like you can't save these people. I have something I sent in my email recently. I said, you could give the average man a brand new Ferrari and a road map and a coffee
and a full tank of gas and tell him the destination, success. And halfway along the drive, he'll quit because it's too far. No matter how well you set it up for people, they'll quit. Then they say, this is what's another thing that's amazing to me about motivation. I don't feel motivated. Newsflash, neither do I sometimes. You're not going to always feel like doing it. You have to do it anyway because it's your duty to do it because you don't want to be a loser. That's the whole point. If you felt like doing it all the time, then there would be no magic to it. The magic is that you do it regardless of how you feel.
How do you stay motivated when you're
I
like,
haven't
I'm a
missed
man?
a day of work in 10 years. I've never had a day off. Maybe I've had days where I've gone driving the supercars and I've only done 2 hours work instead of 8 hours. I've never had a day where I thought, okay, I'm not going to work. Never once ever. My screen time on my phone is 9 hours a day, every day. I do not miss a day of work ever. If I'm the most viral Googled man on the earth, it does not change a fucking thing. I am working. Earth must be conquered. The matrix must be attacked and shattered. I do not stop. I will not quit. I will not surrender. I am not that person. I have zero interest in rest or respite. It's bullshit for cowards. Even the idea of resting aggravates my mind. So what I'm supposed to do this? Wait, let me practice.
Sure.
Yeah, that sucks.
No, but is there...
Sucks.
Bro, I got shit to do. I can't even contemplate the idea. People say to me, if I had your money, Tate, I'd just go chill. That's why you'll never have my money, dummy.
Well,
Because
here's
you
my
just want to
question
go do
to that,
nothing.
though.
I don't want to do nothing. I want to do shit.
A lot of teens or young people or even adults, they're suffering from a lot of mental health issues.
Okay.
And what's your advice to them?
The world is hyper competitive. If you're going to be a man who's going to sit and say, I'm just sad, you are always going to lose in competition to men like me. No. And there has to be losers for there to be winners. I am tired of sympathy. Sympathy doesn't work for anybody. I'm not going to sit here and be sympathetic for people who say they're too sad to try hard and be their best. Guess what? Perhaps I was sad every time I did exactly what I was supposed to do and trained anyway. Perhaps I was afraid when I fought anyway. Perhaps I was tired when I worked anyway. This is how you get ahead in life. I don't have an ounce of sympathy for these people who sit here and say, well, I feel this way, so I can't. Then don't do it. Stay down there. The winners are at the top, and the winners at the top don't give a shit about how they feel. We wake up and we perform regardless of how we feel day after day. So if I'm going to ignore my own feelings, I'm certainly not going to take into consideration anybody else's. Yeah. Why am I going to ignore how I feel and make sure I'm constantly performing regardless, flawlessly, and then sit and go, oh, but he doesn't feel good, so he's allowed to fuck up. No, you are not. You're not allowed to fuck up to your ancestors or to God or to yourself. You have to perform. This is what being a man is about. The baseline of masculinity is doing things you don't feel like doing. I can't comment on being a woman because I'm not one. But the baseline of masculinity as a whole is the thing that makes a good man a man is that he does what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to work and he works anyway. He doesn't want to go to war and he fights anyway. He doesn't want to get up. He gets up anyway. That's the whole point of it. We didn't want to die in the Titanic. Guess what happened? We died in the Titanic. You can't sit there as a man and say you don't feel like it. You're not allowed to not feel like it. You're supposed to do it anyway, regardless. Yeah. So when a man sits there and says, oh, but you don't understand, I'm struggling with motivation. If you are struggling with the motivation to be a winner, then stay a fucking loser. No problem. Stay a loser. Don't care. Because in my circle, there's no losers around me. Your energy is disgusting. I find it revolting. I don't like weakness around me, even near me. Even people coming up saying hello to me. If you're depressed, don't even shake my hand. I do not have time for losers on any regard. Winners only.
What started that fire inside early on, or did it kind of just develop through time and get hotter and hotter?
Well, I think everybody has a fire inside of them, but it's pacified. It's deliberately extinguished by society because one, the matrix wants you docile, which is the first thing. And second thing is people live lives of comfort. A lot of people, I think all men are born with a masculine desire to conquer Earth. And I think you're only going to be happy if you're conquering. But if you're living a semi-comfortable life and your mother is nice to you and you're not under any pressure and the matrix is telling you it's fine to just be average, well, then you're going to be sitting there being average. I was never comforted. I was never given an easy life. I never had anyone in my life who was saying, don't worry, Andrew, it's okay to just be this guy. I was told the opposite all the time. I don't know if the fire inside of me is any bigger than it is inside of every other man. And I think that every man at home watching this, if they don't have the things they want in life, should feel a degree of resentment towards themselves or disappointment, understanding that they have the same desire and drive that I have. They just allowed themselves to be psyoped out of it. They've allowed the matrix or whoever to convince them it's okay to not be the man they could be. And I never allowed anybody to do that to me.
When I was 15, my first job was carrying boxes of fish from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. And I would run to work. So I'd leave the house at 6. I'd run an hour. I'd get there at 7. I'd finish work at 5. And then I'd run from there to the fight gym, get to the fight gym. I'd get there early before training started. I'd eat food next to the gym and then I'd train and then I would get a ride home from my girlfriend at the time. So my entire life was 17 hours a day of just running and working and carrying boxes and fighting. The answer to everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. And he used to say this. I'll give you an example. If you're a farmer and you need rain for your crop and there's no rain, you can sit there and say there's no rain. We're all going to starve. Or you can stand up and do a rain dance. Now, will your rain dance work? Perhaps not. Perhaps the rain won't come. But I would argue that you're better off standing up doing that rain dance than just sitting there waiting to die. You have to do something. Raw action solves. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor. I'm poor. What do I do? It was, I'm poor. I have to do something. If I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Don't know. Where can I get some cash? Don't know. What work can I do? Don't know. I'll just go for a run then. And I'd just go for 3-mile run or go hit the punch bag and get better.
This resonates so deeply, man. This is exactly what I did.
That's exactly. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or jerk off and go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can say a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. That's the whole point of it.
I feel like we live in a world where there's not enough action. There's a lot of people who know things.
All talk.
But they're all talk. There's not enough action. They don't do anything. So we need to get some action moving. So we're going to begin this with some action. And I want you guys to understand something about every single decision you make in life. Every single decision you make in life is a pivoting point upon which you can embark on 2 different journeys. E.g., you decide if you want to jerk off or not.
Okay. This is an important one. This is a pivotal moment that many of you face daily, multiple times daily for some of you.
Jerk off, J.O. You can go yes or you can go no. But these 2 paths lead in completely different directions. You'll lead a completely different and new life depending on the decision you make. There's yes path and there's no path, and they're brand new lives. So the action we're going to try and inspire from you right now here early on is going to embark you down one of 2 paths. You're either going to take action and live the yes life, or you're going to sit around and do nothing like you've done for most of your human existence and live the no life.
And me as a man, when I've put myself through hell, when I have had such exacting, such stringent standards for myself, why would I then have less exacting, stringent standards on the people I meet? Why would I put myself through hell to be me and then meet someone who didn't put themselves through hell and then treat them like my equal? No, f*** you. I suffered when you didn't. So you're not my equal because you decided not to suffer. You have enjoyed comfort when I haven't, and that's fine. But don't expect me to look at you as my equal because you're not. I'll snap your neck.
I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's 2 ways to learn a lesson, the hard way and the hardest way. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. You have to learn the hard way. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I just said, hey, Andrew, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. But when I show you, when you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. There's a lot of people who complain about the bad things that happen in their life, not understanding that without the bad things, you'd have no life at all. You need all of the bad things. You need the mental struggle. You need to go through things which you regret. You need to sit there so that if you've never regretted any action you've ever taken, how can you sit and make a intelligent decision for the future? You can't do it. You need to sit and say, well, I felt the sting of regret for X. I don't want to feel the sting of regret for Y. You need this experience. And that's what life is all about. People think that life is just the good times. And this is the massive misconception. But they say you should have no interest in what people think about you. That makes you insecure. And that is the largest psyop in history, to wake up and say, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to be strong. I'm not going to be interesting. I'm not going to go out there and test myself. And I'm not going to put honor on my last name because I would hate for people to think I'm insecure. I'm secure. So it doesn't matter if you think I'm a loser, and it doesn't matter if I am a loser because I'm just going to sit at home and I'm secure. No, it's not insecurity. It's called duty to your last name and honor. And that's just another one of the many different tentacles inside of the psyop octopus, trying to snatch any motivation left from the masculine spirit.
So Andrew, you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
You also have crypto.
Yep.
You also invest in different investments.
Yeah.
So for someone that's a young person coming up,
yeah,
what is the best piece of advice you can give to them to make it to be successful?
Right. So if someone were to say to me from absolute ground zero, how to get rich?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's a good question. So I would say do two things. The first thing I would say you should do is develop a phone addiction. And you should develop a phone addiction, but you should refuse to consume content and only create content.
Genius.
So it doesn't, I will say right here, right now, I have a genuine phone addiction.
Me too.
9-10 hours a day screen time.
Me too.
I live on my phone. I'm on my phone. That's where the money is. That's where the is.
Facts.
So where else am I going to be? Right? I'm on my phone. You see me. I'm always just on my phone, right? I have a phone addiction, but I'm not consuming a bunch of crap, right? I'm producing on my Twitter account. I'm constantly tweeting. Doesn't matter if it's just tweets. Doesn't matter if it's TikToks. Doesn't matter if it's YouTube videos. Produce.
Yep.
If you spend all those waking hours producing, eventually people will pay attention to you.
Yes.
And we live in an attention economy.
Yep.
This is the economy we now live in. It's no longer about competence like it used to be. It's not even so much, it's about attention and it's about network. It's those two things. It's who you know and it's how many people pay attention to you. So if you develop a phone addiction and you refuse to consume and you only create, you'll start to attract attention sooner or later. Mm-hmm. And when you can do that, there's usually lots of different ways to monetize it. If we were still in the animal kingdom, the lions that you see on TV, they weren't just born big lions. They had to fight other lions. They had to fight to get that antelope. They had to fight other animals, hyenas, jackals. They had to fight to be the boss. We live in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter. And I'm going to tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. If you're listening to this and you think I'm never lucky, I'll tell you why, because God dislikes you because you're lazy. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'd be amazed how lucky you'll become.
Women have a special type of energy around them. They're fascinating. They're wonderful in their own special way. And they make life beautiful. You're taking a walk on the beach, it's better with a woman. You're laying in the park looking up at the sky, it's better with a woman. You're at dinner, it's better with a woman. You're at a club with your male friends, you want women around. Women are the seasoning to life. Women have a special type of energy, and I love women. Let me explain something to you. There's no trick. There's no life hack. There's no being in a position where all the women you meet or come into contact with want to have sex with you. That doesn't exist for any man on the planet besides Brad Pitt and a few others. If you want to be an elite level player, you have to work at it. This is what I explain to everybody. Why is Floyd Mayweather the best boxer in the world? Why is Roger Federer the best tennis player in the world? Because they train and work and perfect their skills, and that's why they are the best in their field. I am exactly the same. I'm not some guy who women just all want and they chase me and message me on Instagram and want to come over to my house. No, I make a conscious effort every single day. I wake up, I plan, I make my moves like I'm on a chessboard, and I keep not only my 6 relationships going, but I have plenty of time to meet new women. A question I'm asked a lot is how do you meet women? So the key to approaches is to keep your number of approaches very, very low. Aim like a sniper, not a flamethrower. If you see a beautiful girl, you're in a high-end spot, you want to add her to your harem, you want to add her to your collection, even if you're in your local bar. She could be a beautiful barmaid. You make your one approach, you try to get her contact details, and you then work on that lead. Mass approaching every woman who you could talk to is the enemy of an elite playboy like myself, because you need the hours of the day. You need your hours in the day to work, to do business, to do other things that are important that add to the lifestyle that attracts beautiful women. You can't afford to waste all your day walking around, walking up to girls, asking for their Facebooks, asking for their Instagrams, asking for their numbers. It's pathetic. You need to make your approaches when it's approaching time. You're out with your friends, you're at a nice restaurant, you see a group of girls, you're out at a nice bar, you see a girl by the bar, she catches your eye. Then you go over and you make your approach. I make no more than 2 or 3 approaches a week. Approaches my way is completely different, you see. I don't march around trying to get women to have sex with me by talking to them. I have built a lifestyle. I have built a life which puts me in contact with beautiful women. I'm around them. I'm in the best clubs. I'm in the best restaurants. I'm in the best bars. I'm in the best spots in the world. I'm flying all over the place. The highest level women in the world are not in your local mall, gentlemen. They're in some bar in Cannes or Monte Carlo. And if you're not there, you're not going to get them. Another way you can meet women is by having a group of women with you. Now, having a group of women with you in a town or city where these women are from, it acts like a magnet. If you have 3 or 4 girls from New York with you while you are in New York and you're taking them to the best clubs and the best bars and the best spots, the girls they know congregate around you. Having girls with you acts like a magnet. I do not go out with just men. I go out with women every single time. I don't care if they're my friends, my girlfriends, girls I'm sleeping with. I bring women when I go out because they're friends, their girlfriends, their mates, they all want to come over and talk. And that is a way that I meet a lot of women. Dating apps are nowhere near as powerful as Instagram. Everyone who's anyone, every attractive girl in the world is on Instagram. And every guy who's an elite level guy, every guy with some clout, some presence, some money, some talent, some skill, something to offer is on Instagram too. Instagram is the most powerful dating app in the world. You could be the most handsome guy in the world. You could be a Ferrari driver. You could be in super yachts in all your pictures and private jets. If you have a boring profile picture and 200 people following you, it's not that the girl likes you for the number of followers. It's you are not going to be seen. You're going to send a message to this beautiful girl. She's going to scroll down her messages. Oh, who's this? This guy has 20,000 followers. Let me read this guy's messages. She's going to skip right past you. The importance of building up a nice Instagram page when it comes to game is exceptionally important in today's world. Again, like with Instagram, my Tinder pictures are me next to my supercars, me by the pool, me looking good, having trained hard. I try to get all the attention I can from the social media, and my Tinder pictures are my Instagram pictures. Women will seek you out, not just in the real world, but in the online world more so than ever before. Women care about looks. They do. I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but I try my hardest. My beard isn't trimmed. My hair isn't cut nicely. But most of the time, I'm walking around with a nice trimmed, razored beard. My haircut is always on point. I've gelled my hair. I've dressed nicely. I'm wearing a designer shirt, nice watch, nice shoes. I'm presentable to the world. I work out. I'm physically fit. I'm not always in the best shape, but I do my push-ups every morning. I do my boxing, I do my training, whatever training you do, you have to do it. Fitness is important. How fit do you look? It is basic human evolutionary biology. Oh, look, this big, strong, handsome guy, he'll give me nice children. Women may not think that exactly in their heads, but it's a big part of what makes women want to have sex with you. If you disregard it, if you think, oh, well, I'm rich, it doesn't matter, I'm a big, fat, ugly fuck. I've got loads of money, women will want to fuck me. They won't. They may fuck you if you pay them. But that isn't what this is about. That's not being a playboy. That's being a customer. And I'm not teaching you how to be a customer. So yes, you do have to be presentable. You have to look your best. Train as much as you can. Make sure your hair is the way that you like it. I don't know. Don't get your hair cut if you have long hair, whatever. Do whatever makes you look good. Fitness is essential because it's something that women desire. So you take that general rule and you think, okay, I want to be as attractive as I can to as many women as possible. Don't be a fat, lazy Rule number 1, if you're a fat, lazy get to the gym. You're not going to be able to live like me until you do. Get into reasonable shape, at least. Being the fat, lazy is not attractive to women. I am not every woman's type. A lot of women look at me and think, you know what? I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. Don't like the way he's shaped. Don't like his height. I'm too tall, maybe, for some women. Yeah, if they're short. I don't like this. I don't like that. Cool. I'm not every woman's type. Neither are you. Nobody is. I know some handsome dudes. They're not every woman's type. They can't be. However, being fit makes it far more likely that you are going to be the type of the women you meet. So absolutely, this is an essential rule. Being a man in demand is fitness. Look your best, train hard. Women like to feel safe. They like to feel protected. They like when you put your big arms around them. They like if you can pick them up. Women love that shit. Get to the gym.
If I saw a beautiful woman sitting there at the mall sipping a coffee and I was dressed in, my beard was all messy. I had a hood up and I was in like sweatpants and shit. The confidence, you haven't maximized your own confidence, if you know what I'm saying. When you're dressed really, really well, you just had a fresh haircut, you feel like a different person. So it's how it makes you feel. Women will do their makeup and do their hair and put on a nice dress, and then their personality, you'll know when you hang out with them, seems different. They're more full of their confidence. They're more their natural self. People are much more likely to listen to what you have to say, and also makes you more memorable. People take you more seriously. People are more likely to stop and listen to what you have to say. So also it burns you into people's minds and memories much more. When you are dressed very well, you aren't in a place, you become the place. You become part of the ambiance of the place. You're also doing your part to add to the aesthetics of a nice location.
Now, when it comes to dating, I know what some of you think. Women love money. No. Women love fun, and fun costs money. If you're broke, you're not going to get as many women. Why? You don't pay the women. I don't give women money. Good girls don't care if you have money. They're not going to ask you for money. But if you don't have any money, all you can do is invite them to your apartment. Money is important because money facilitates fun. You can take a girl out in your nice car. That's fun for her. I have a fully stocked bar in my cigar lounge in my house. They can come here, they can have some drinks. Money facilitates fun. So when it comes to dating, yes, you need money. Trying to impress a woman with a supercar doesn't work. So a Ferrari can make an amazing date. A jacuzzi can make an amazing date. I don't know what else you have. A guitar, a surfboard, whatever your talents are, they can add to a date massively. If you have a Lamborghini like I do, you don't say, oh, you want to go out in my Lamborghini? Talking about money is narcissistic. Talking about money is not attractive when it's one-on-one with a female. It's not cool. What you just say is, let's go for a drive. You take her for a drive, then you're in the Lamborghini. All it is a extra surprise on top of things. Never approach a girl and say, hi, I have a Lamborghini. Would you like to come for a drive with me? Never say, here, come to my house and I'm going to play the guitar and sing a song for you. That sounds gay. However, if you have your guitar on display in your room and you take her back to your house and she sees your guitar and goes, oh, play me something. Okay, you know what? Cool, I'll play you a little something. They already know who you are. They like you enough to meet you. Cool, everything else is a bonus on top. If they're meeting you, you don't have to say, oh, I could play the guitar and I have a Ferrari and I have a jet ski at my lake house. But if they want to meet you, hang out with them. First have coffee. Then add these things in. They're just bonuses, things that are going to make her smile, things that are going to excite her, and things that are going to lock her in to you even further than she's already invested.
Women chase excellence. Women don't necessarily want someone who's rich or someone who's smart. They want someone who's excellent. The top tier men in the world, you could take someone like Floyd Mayweather, who can't read, and he's 5'5", but he's the best in the world at boxing. That means he's an excellent man, and women chase after that. So there's no real rule to women. I would say that women chase excellence, and you have to work on every single aspect of yourself if you want to attract a large plethora of women.
The one mistake guys make that elite level players do not is they text too much. Let me explain to you. It's a very simple mathematical problem. If I spend 3 or 4 hours a day talking to a girl on WhatsApp, how many girls can I maintain that level of conversation with? 2, 3. I need to be talking to 15 girls at a time. And I have all my girls filed in my phone. I need to talk to all of them all the time. How do I do it? A few messages a day. Every 2 hours, I'll open WhatsApp. I'll reply to every single girl. Another 2 hours passes, I'll reply to every single girl. It's only a couple minutes every 2 hours. You don't lock yourself down into huge conversations. If you are talking on text about her interests, what she likes doing, why are you single, her life story, any of this shit is date material. You want to be sitting at a dinner table or sitting at a coffee bar having that conversation. She's met you. She finds you moderately attractive, at least. She gave you her contact details. The whole text game is aiming at closing a date. Hey, how are you? It was good to see you the other night. Continue with your business. A couple hours passed. She's replied, yeah, it was really good. It was a really night out. You know, I'd like to see you again and get to know you a bit better. You free tomorrow? Let's go for coffee. Boom! That's it. That's all you need. The goal is simple. Make sure it's all orientated to getting her on a date. What kind of food you like? Perfectly okay question. Oh, I like this, I like that. Oh, you like Japanese food? That's cool. I know a really great Japanese restaurant in town. Have you ever been to this? Yeah, it's my favorite restaurant. Okay, I'll take you there tomorrow. Or, no, I've never been there. Oh, you gotta try it. I'll take you there tomorrow. When you're maintaining relationships like I am, and your time is limited, you have to be sure not to burn your time. I call it burning time. You're with your girlfriend for 3 hours. All you have is 3 hours. Netflix? No! So I'm telling you, porn, masturbation, throw them out the window. You want to be an elite level playboy? Be a fucking man. You don't get sex for one day, cool, you'll live. Do 50 press-ups before you go to sleep. Go out the next day hungrier. It's easy for me to just spend time, burn the hours watching Netflix, but she will not be as happy. Guys, Tiger Woods isn't the best golf player in the world because he sits on his couch watching Netflix. Muhammad Ali was not the best heavyweight boxer of all time because he sat on his couch watching TV. You want to be an elite level playboy, you want to collect these women, then you have to keep them happy. Do not engage in pointless arguments and do not engage in pointless conversation. If you have a relationship, if you're going to get caught cheating, don't let it be with some girl who lives in California that you're flirting with online for no reason. It makes you look like a simp. Do not burn your hours cheating on your girlfriend emotionally with girls far away, with girls you haven't got a chance with girls with boyfriends who don't take you seriously. Don't waste your time with this stuff, man.
There are some times where I've been talking to a girl for maybe a month and we have our second date or first date. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what, this one's in the bag. And it gets to 11 o'clock and she's like, you know what, I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow. I should really get a taxi home. I'm the least pushy man. There's nothing attractive about being pushy because you don't understand her. Maybe she's on her period. It's that time of the month and she thinks, you know what, I'd love to fuck Tristan, but I'm just not going to do that tonight in his house. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be ashamed. Me being pushy is just going to undo the month of hard work that I've done being charming and being nice and being kind because I'm not getting laid. So, first circumstance, you don't go home with her. Yeah, always be a gentleman. Don't worry, let me get you a taxi home because why would you burn the hard work you've done and not bother setting up a second date? But it's not just that. I would just rather be nice. Being a gentleman is very, very important. There doesn't have to be a winner. When you're going on a date with a woman and you're looking to sleep with her and she's looking to have a good time, you could both go home happy.
Most guys are looking for a quick fix. You're looking for a secret, something I'm going to tell you, a magic word, a spell, an incantation that's going to make you be surrounded with women who want to have sex with you all the time. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. It's a recipe. It's a recipe which includes lots of hard work. And this is something I call being a man in demand, or the 5 F's. I've got 5 F's. They are fitness, finance, fun, free time, the F word. Those are the 5 F's. And that is the recipe of what makes you a man who women want to. The most important part of dating when you are an elite playboy is something that you guys probably wouldn't guess. It is time management. Time management is the key to dating multiple women, to having a harem of women. You have to manage your time. You need your time. You need your time to work out. You need your time to make money. You need your hours of your day. You can't go marching around malls or marching around parks trying to go up to every woman who you speak to. You actively get searched out when you're an elite level guy. And this is what I mean one more time when I say you have to train and you have to work at being an elite playboy. That's the key. So, if you're not being scouted out, if you're not being hunted, if you're not being searched for, what exactly are you missing? Guys, stand up, look down. Can you see your dick? No, then you're too fat. Lose some weight. Women care about looks too. I'm not the best looking guy in the world, sure, but I make an effort. I try. I work out. I get into shape. All these women wouldn't like me as much if I was 20 pounds heavier or 30 pounds heavier. Of course they wouldn't. If you are lazy and you're broke, and your Instagram looks terrible, and you're fat as fuck and you look like shit, and you're not smart, you're not interesting, you're not funny, you're busy all the time, how many women do you think you're going to get? 0. It doesn't matter what you apply of what I know. You have to be a man who has some level of demand about him to be an elite level playboy. You do not give women money, ever. You do not give them money for sex. You do not give them money to show off. You don't give women money. That's bullshit. However, your financial situation creates an aura of fun. Women love fun. I have a swimming pool in my house. Women love that. In the summer, they're coming here, jumping in the pool, taking their bikinis off. Now, are they thinking, this pool, 28,000 euros this cost. Oh, this pool costs so much money. Tristan has money. Wonderful. No. They're thinking, wow, swimming pool. That's it. Finance and your financial situation makes you fun. Now, you have to be entertaining. Now, there are ways that nerds think you could be entertaining that don't work. Having a Lamborghini, for example. Having a Lamborghini does not make women want to have sex with you. It makes little boys want to drive around in your car. Women don't give a shit about driving around in your Lamborghini that much unless they like you. You have to make it fun. Having a supercar gets you an opening conversation. You park at the club, you walk inside. Is that your car? If you reply, yeah, that's my car. It has 600 horsepower and I got the tires custom from Germany and the body kit is actually from a custom body shop in Bucharest and I changed the color and I've got a special steering wheel. The girl's gonna be cool, see you later. If you're a boring twat, it doesn't matter what car you drive. It doesn't matter what car you drive. Hi, is that your car? No, it's yours. I'm going to get drunk tonight. You're driving me home. Yeah? Cool. Obviously, you don't really let her drive your car. But say something funny. I just came up with that off the top of my head. Say something witty. Say something entertaining. Being a millionaire, having nice things, having cool things, it doesn't get you pussy. It gets you a 5-second opener. And if you squander that, if you waste it, it was all for nothing. You have to be fun. Women don't care about money. They care about what's entertaining. Now, when I was broke, I used to have no money. I would be funny. I'd take girls on a date. I'd say, oh, you didn't wear high heels on our date in my Volkswagen Golf. They'd be like, no, where are we even going? Well, you know what? You're not wearing high heels. I'm going to take you to somewhere suitable. McDonald's. This was my routine. I go to McDonald's. I had a few pounds to my name. I roll on the window. Hi, I need an ice cream McFlurry. Yeah, bring me an ice cream McFlurry, but put extra love in it. What did you say? Extra love. Extra toppings? No, extra love. I'm on a date. I need to make her fall in love with me. Oh, okay. The girl's laughing her ass off. She thinks it's hilarious. I give her ice cream. Is it working? Are you in love with me yet? Why'd you take me to McDonald's? Well, you weren't wearing high shoes. Ha ha ha. I didn't have any money. Make them laugh. Make them enjoy their time with you. And this is what I said about dating earlier. You have to implant yourselves in their mind. Wow, I had a wonderful time. That could be on her mind for 2 days while you're f***ing your girlfriends and you're f***ing other women. That could be on her mind all week while she's working. Maybe she's busy and she can't wait to see you again. You have to be fun. Fun is important. Now, this is very subjective. It varies from man to man. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you know. I don't know who you know. But you know how to have fun in your own city, I'm sure, or your own town. You know how to show a girl a good time. Don't be boring. That is essential. And if you're a boring guy, work on it. If you're broke, work on it. If you're unfit, work on it.
Women are wonderful and they're good for so much more than just. Women are the single greatest thing and the best thing in the world and they're the best thing about life. And if you have a simplistic caveman mindset where you think, I just need these girls, I need to have sex with all these girls, I think you're going to miss out on it. And I know I covered this earlier in the podcast, but there's so many amazing things about women. And I think that women need men and men need women.